Hello, this is our group presentation on Google Reader, and the members of these groups are Bing Vuong,
Sibyl Feliz,
Maria Zuniga,
Bushra Mahmood,
and Jerusa McKinney. Who should use Google Reader? Well, usually people who visit multiple websites to keep track of what's going on with news, business, stock market, and interest in general. Internet surfing is the most common term for the internet users, and Google Reader makes life easier for everyone, especially when you are a blogger or run a specialist information website. Then Google Reader is an essential tool to help you source material for your article.
what do I need to use Google Reader? In order to be able to use Google Reader, you need a Google account. Okay, now let's go over the step of setting up a Google Reader account. Step 1. Open your browser and go to www.google.com/reader. Step 2. The screen should display the following simple fields to fill in. Enter your current email address, and Google will send the verification email to this address. So make sure that you provide a real and an active address. Choose a password, confirm the password and location, and the word verification. This makes sure that you are a real person and not a bit of internet software. The screen will then display the I accept, create my account button. Step 3. You will be sent an email to verify that your email address is working. So go and find this in your inbox to enable your account. It will be a send from accounts/-now-replay@google.com and will have the subject line Google email verification. You verify the email by clicking on the link in the email. This will open your Google Reader page. Step 4. When the Google Reader page opens for the first time, you will have the opportunity to watch a 30-second video by clicking on the play button at the bottom of the video window. This is worth doing. Once the video is finished, click the Get Started by adding subscription button. This takes you to a screen where you can start adding some websites chosen by Google. Step 5. Google has bundled some sites into groups: news, sports, fun, and many more. I wouldn't bother choosing a bundle. I prefer to choose individual feeds in which I'm really interested. To do this, click on the Add Subscription link in the left-hand column. This opens a search field with which you can find feeds to add to your reader page. You can make the search either very specific to find the feed on a particular website, for example, BBC UK sports news, or much broader to find feeds about a particular subject area, for example, gardening. Step 6. Once you have identified a feed you want to add, you simply click to the subscribe button. The button immediately changes to a yellow tick and the text subscribed. At this point, it is very useful to assign the feed to a folder. As you add lots of feeds, it is much easier to manage your reader site if they are bundled into folders. To do this, click on Add to the folder, which appears under the feed once you have subscribed. Click New Folder and type in a relevant category named News, Sports, Small Business, etc. Repeat this process to add more feeds. And congratulations, you have now taken a big step toward making your information consumption much more effective.
Once you have your reader page set up with multiple feeds, spend some time familiarizing yourself with how you can access the information you need. Here's a quick overview. On the left-hand column, there are a few links. If you click on the home link, you'll get a view of the 3 latest articles from each of your feeds. If you click on the All Items link, you will see all the new articles as they come in chronological order. The third link, Start Items, is the way to save articles in which you are interested. When you read an individual item, a row of options appears at the foot of the summary. If you click Add Star, the article is then taken and saved to the starred items folder. Here is a picture of how the Google Reader interface looks like. On the left column, you can see the links I just mentioned before, and below that are subscriptions. Here are subscriptions from different sites customized on Google Reader. Another feature is the Shared Items link, which allows you to set up your own feed so that other people can read the articles you choose to share. When you select an article, you get an option to share it by clicking the link at the foot of the article summary. Trends is another feature that summarizes your reading habits from the feeds that you have listed. I use this to remove feeds that I am not regularly reading. Another feature is Add Subscription, which was just mentioned. It was covered in the previous picture. It allows you to search for new feeds so that they can be added to your reader page. Under this Add Subscription link, there is a list of all your feeds. You can select a certain folder to read all the feeds in that category, or you can select an individual feed to read the latest articles from that website. This picture shows the sites available from subscriptions and how it appears on Google Reader. As you can see here, there are listed a few different sites to subscribe from. If you notice the numbers to the right of the title, such as the 591 next to the Life Hacker, this number dictates how many new articles you have in that subscription. As mentioned earlier, Trends is one of the cooler options or features on Google Reader. As you can see here, there's a link on the left side of the screen called Trends. When you click on it, it shows a chart that maps the your usage of Google Reader. Google Reader's Trend Tracker shows you what hour of the day you read the most stories. Are you a stats junkie? If so, you're in luck, because Google is watching your every move. At least they're nice enough to let you in on some of the stats they are recording with their Trends feature. Clicking on Trends on the top left-hand menu will show you your reading and subscription trends, along with which feeds update the most, and more importantly, which feeds you're actually reading. This is a very handy way to clean house and get rid of feeds that are simply taking up space. You can also see which feeds are simply inactive or haven't had a single post in the past month. Trends will also let you see how many stories you've read in the past 30 days, along with the hours of the day and the days of the week you get the most reading done. For visual stats junkies for whom graphs and charts simply don't suffice, there's also a nifty tag cloud, which shows you which stories you're giving the most play in a handy tag cloud.
Google Reader synchronizes all Google available services, such as Google Email account, Google Plus, Google Calendar, and other reading accounts. Here's some tips. Email are you instantly send the article here and summary to your friend. This is a very useful and convenient option to find the full each article summary. Edit tabs enable to add words that will help you to search and find a particular article. For example, you were researching for a book, you could tag all relevant articles book 1 so that you can easily find them again. List view is a useful feature that allows you to find articles like email in the box, so you can very quickly scan the heading to find items or interesting. You find the list view tab on the top right of the corner of each page. Enjoy using Google Reader. I hope that it not only makes you much more efficient, but also brings the way that you consume the information on the web. This picture shows how Google Reader is also available on a smartphone.
Now we're going to talk about integration between Google Reader and Google+. On October 31st, 2011, Google Reader has already brought some functional changes. All those social features like friending, following, sharing items, and comments are removed in favor of similar Google Plus functionality and replaced by Google Plus One button. As you can see in this picture on the left side, the Plus One button adds one more feed item and replaces like, share, and share with note option to share it with your circles on Google Plus. I'm gonna still continue talk about integration between Google Reader and Google Plus. You can choose to share them on Google Plus publicly or with a certain circles or friends with the Plus One button. Also, you can add a comment in the share box to your shared items. Your comment would show up along with the item you have recommended in a stream of those you have shared with. To share an item with a note, just click the Plus One button from underneath the item. Then you'll be given the option to include any comments you might have in the Google Plus share box. This is a picture where the synchronization between Google Reader and Google Plus is made. As you can see, on the right side, Bing Vong shared the 5 best mobile price comparison application from her Google Reader account to her Google Plus account. Now we're going over the steps in how to share Google Reader items on Google Plus. The first step, you log into your Google Reader account. The second step, you find an item you like to share via Google Plus. Step 3, notice the gray share button on the black bar at the top of your screen. Click it to bring up a shared dialog. 4, type comments, add links and videos, and add photos into the share dialog. And a circle of friends and click share. Your comment will show up along with the item you have recommended in the streams of those you shared with. While you're sharing your Google Reader items on Google Plus, you can actually change the settings. Google Reader allows you to select some other sites and services like Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and other social platforms using the customizable Send To button to send your sharing items to. Now let's talk about Google Reader discontinued features. Friending is gone because it's provided by Google+. Also following, because as I said before, it's provided by Google+. Comment, share items, and like button are gone too. But what are the benefits of Google Reader? Well, Google Reader keeps you in touch with real-time updates to information released on web. It reduces the time and effort needed to regularly check websites for updates. It creates a unique information space or personal newspaper. Allow the user to pull information from the web at user-determined intervals, not having information pushed onto them in email. The user can easily unsubscribe from a feed, giving them control over what they view. We're going to continue on the benefits of Google Reader. Well, as everybody knows, it's a free aggregator, and unlike others, such as NetVibes, you don't get your own start page customized with tabs, local weathers, and other information. If you want these local items along with feeds from all over the world, they will appear in an email style list with all your other feeds. Google Reader also helps you navigate the vast amount of information available and gives you updates of similar content to facilitate your next search. And also ties your search behavior, which means if you look before for about navigation, you actually eventually you get information about navigation as well.
While there are many advantages to Google Reader, it also has some disadvantages. If not managed correctly, Google Reader can cause information overload because of the wide range of articles published on the web every day. Furthermore, the Google Reader interface itself is mostly just text, which can be very hard to read through. Finally, Google Reader can be extremely time-consuming if it isn't managed effectively. Ultimately, the effectiveness of Google Reader depends on the user settings.